Nyamia dum adiache. Divine selection yano dem. Kokrokoo Peace 104.3. Medin de Kwame Sefa Kain. Reaching you live from Ship House Abeka Junction right here in Accra. And on the wings of the song, shouting out to you, Chairman Bright Adum of the Adum Group. I know you love this one. And so the LGBTQI+++ conversation continues. Black Stars 3, Zimbabwe 1. Is it a fluke? Hey, Intums, and also meet me at Waswa Bonesa. Yeah, just a And switching on to the brighter side of life on a Monday morning, October 11, it says happy birthday to you, Dr. Michael Deladem Kwashi. Wherever you are, have a blessed birthday, Dr. Michael Deladem Kwashi, for you now. It's from my sister Mauto to you. Wishing Mr. J.K. Ejipong Otu of Emmanuel Presby Church in Dansuman, happy birthday to you. Mr. J.K. Ejipong Otu is from your dear wife, your children, and the entire family. It's centered on your grace. And happy 70th birthday, 70 and counting. Where it's from Mrs. Veronica Ansong and her children. Wishing Mr. W.B. Ansong of the Church Choir, Presbyterian Church of Ghana Redemption Congregation in Bawe. Happy 70th birthday to you, Mr. W.B. Ansong. And to your granddaughter, Eliora Christine Mamfe, who's 6 today. Mama Betty Naguna Swidru, this one too is for good. Adam. A belated wish to you, Madame Esther Opoku, aka Sister. Yesterday was birthday number 74, Madame Esther Opoku, aka Sister. It's from your children, your sisters, the family, especially Martin Pokuwari, Ben Loko, Spring Benson, and the entire family to you. In no trace of stand chart. Good morning. Here's your song. And to you, BB Besmark Big Sis. Good morning. Here's your song to I Know. Wishing Sophia Appear of SDA Church in Latte. Happy birthday, Sophia Appear, from your children, Annabelle, Nora, Desmond, Kwame, and the entire family. Yeah, my earring feeder. Happy birthday to you, Mrs. Mary Kwam, and your son, Nana Kojo Kisi of Adrianbu Central Mataheko Church of Pentecost. It's from your husband, Elder Kwam, and your children, Eugene, Candy, and Sally. Your sister, Mrs. Annette Boahin, Sylvanus, and the entire church. And then also happy birthday to you, Stella Boahin of St. Benedict School in Dansuman. It's from your parents, Elder and Mrs. Boahin. Your siblings, Mandy, Inshira Boahin, and Tiwa. Auntie Mrs. Mary Kwam, Elder Kwam, and Uncle Sylvanus Afagbeji Banaman. Happy birthday to you, Dr. Victor Kwame Nyanteng. You're 79. Grand old man, happy birthday to you, Dr. Victor Kwame Nyanteng. Birthday number 79 from your children and grandchildren. And from the Nyanteng Yenyi Akomia Chiepa Hobing and his Shan families to you. Birthday wishes to a wonderful wife and mother, Mrs. Priscilla Owusu of Tema General Hospital, from your husband Kwame Owusu and children, Pa. Champong of the Ghana Immigration Service. Happy birthday to you, Mrs. Doreen Champong. It's from your husband, Kofi Champong of the Ghana Immigration Service. Belated birthday wishes to you, Philip Osei Bonsu, aka Obi, of Asempa FM and Ekosi Senfei. I hear yesterday was yours. Love and blessed wishes to you, Obi. Wishing Osafredu Osei Kwame Amankwa Ajiman. Happy birthday to you, Osafredu Osei Kwame Amankwa Ajiman. It's from your mother, your siblings, children, your in-laws, and the entire family to you. Ampa. And a very good morning to you, Dr. Victor Nana Dankwa of Vicdank Healthcare on the Spintex Road. Liver and kidney specialist Dr. Victor Nana Dankwa of Vicdank. Have a great day, sir. And happy birthday to you, Vicky Zuga. It's from Stella to you. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Eric Baidu of Brucious Collections, Jerusalem Achimota. It's from Akusia Sapong to you, Mr. Eric Baidu of Brucious Collections. And happy birthday, Pastor Chief Kwesi Mensah, General Overseer Mighty Chapel. It's from your daughter Lydia Double Double. Wishing my adorable wife Georgina Akotonsia. Happy birthday, Georgina Akotonsia, from the staff, Kofi Sapon Boateng, CC Anderson, Dade Pret, your Dame Bosse and Kweku Ayat to you. And happy birthday to you, Victoria Padiki Ofori Edu. It's your birthday to celebrate and enjoy. Victoria Padiki Ofori Edu, you're 8 years old, of Fawcett Foundation School. It's from your dad, Bernard Ofori Edu. Blessing you. And this one says, shout out to Dr. Sribwo Kweku of the Electoral Commission. You go ahead and have a great week ahead. Happy birthday to your daughter, Ethel Obia Braku Apia. You're 18 years old today, Ethel Obia Braku Apia of Ebri Girls. Bernice Kisi Boateng, aka Atehima, Head of Financial Institutions of Access Bank. Happy birthday to you, Bernice Kisi Boateng. And then also a belated one to Kate Mamiesi Brakwa, aka Brackish. It's from Rich Sexy Millionaires with love to you. To you, Mame in Okra. Happy birthday to you, Mame Okra. Have a lovely day. Lieutenant Kenalaba Machi, here's your song, NCUI. And so if you're within hearing range of my voice, and it says happy birthday to my wife Isaba Yanka. It's from your husband when the children Nanefia and Akosia. God richly bless you. Mrs. Gloria Tokonu. Happy birthday, Mrs. Gloria Tokonu of ATTC. It's from Equian Cancer Bank of Prudential Bank to you. Wishing Grandma Gladys Teresa Menu of Medina. Happy birthday, Grandma Gladys Teresa Menu at 88. Bless you, Grandma, from Fojuo. And to you, Lydia Ajua Pokua of Ahofe Fashions and St. John's Catholic Church, Odoko. Happy birthday, number 39 from Inshira Nyamiye Na Ekwe Free and Kwejo Ashon to you. Ara NCUI. And happy birthday to you, Mr. Ebenezer Chum Edu. Mate. Mr. Ebenezer Chum Edu. Happy birthday to you, mate. The Lord bless and keep you. A belated one to Solomon Jangma, Mr. Solomon Jangma, presiding member, Ningo Pram District Assembly. Wishing Mrs. Dora Kramache, Auntie Dora at 80. Happy 80th birthday, Mrs. Dora Kramache. It's from Obuo and the entire Ado family to you. Reverend John Kwame Atadonko. Happy birthday, Reverend John Kwame Atadonko in Siwiye, chaplain of Enum Presby Senior High School. It's from your wife Asafo Mami Josephine, your children Kobe, Nanaya, Kweku, Mefia, and your twins K and K Danso. And to you, Mr. Yao Amankwa, proprietor of Crown and Glory School. It's from a parent, Mrs. Manfi, mother of Eliora to you. Yes, in Siwiye. Peace FM. HCWE 23 minutes at the top of the hour. 23 minutes from now, it will be 8 in the morning of Monday, the 11th of October 2021. Dr. Udell Tego Adovo is a gynecologist and minimally invasive surgeon. She's from Luca Health Medical Specialty Center. Good morning, Dr. Udell.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm also fine, thank you.
Thank you very much for your time this morning. Now, Dr. Udell is a U.S. trained and board certified gynecological surgeon. Well, tongue twister. Anyway, so Doc, tell us in simple terms, endometriosis. That's quite a tongue twister too.
Yes.
Endometriosis. What exactly is that? What are the causes? Who's at risk? What is that?
Well, thank you again for having me on today. Endometriosis is quite a complex condition, but essentially it's where the endometrium, which is what produces the menses every month, the tissues from the endometrium wind up outside of the womb, where it's normally supposed to be, and attaches to other areas in the woman's pelvis, like the lining of the pelvis, the ovaries, and sometimes the intestines and the bladder. And so essentially what happens is this tissue every month, the same way the endometrium inside the womb will bleed to produce the menses, that tissue that is now outside of the womb in the woman's pelvis will also bleed. And the result is usually inflammation and lots of pain during the menses, and sometimes some scarring in the pelvis, which can change the position of things from where they normally should be to other positions.
Painful, huh?
Very, very painful. In fact,
Ouch.
Pain is the most common symptom that women will have that could clue them in that maybe this is the condition that's happening.
I see. Now, how do you know you have endometriosis? Is that the correct pronunciation?
Yes, endometriosis. Very
Endometriosis. Ooh. Can't you doctors just have simple names? Why do you always
not? That would be too easy.
Why are you always confusing us with these jaw-breaking names?
Well, see, that's why we come and we break it down to simple terms.
So why don't you just start simple? Just tell me that it's what, painful menses or something like that.
Yes, indeed. So the first clue is usually severe pain with the menses. Now, every woman knows that there is some level of cramping that she will get with menses. And usually if you take a Panadol, or sometimes you don't even need to take anything, it's just more of an annoyance. You have the cramping, it goes after a day or two, and that's it. But this level of pain is different. It's the type of pain where it's debilitating, meaning some women wind up missing work missing school because they have pain. Sometimes the pain will start even before the menses begin. So a day or two before the menses, they start having severe pain. And they may take pain medication all right, but they'll find that the pain medication either does not work or it may provide a very brief relief and then the pain returns with the same intensity. Other symptoms also can be pain at other times when the menses is not on, or even pain during intercourse. And also some women may not have much pain, but their main symptom may be infertility or difficulty conceiving.
Wow. That's painful.
Yes.
So, ordinarily, some women go through pain during menses. What makes this different? What are the symptoms they should really look out for beyond pain?
It's really when you think that the pain is out of hand. When you have cramps with your menses, it shouldn't be something that interferes with your normal daily functioning. If you're finding that your pain is so severe that you have to miss your normal activities like school or like work, or if you're rolling on the floor screaming and crying, which some women actually do have happen during their menses, then that should let you know that this is not just normal cramps of menstruation, this is something else.
Then at that point, somebody says, Kwame, the pain goes right through your heart. I haven't seen anything as painful as that.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yes, and that's not normal. Some women don't realize that the level of pain they're having is beyond what's normal. And especially for younger women, because sometimes endometriosis can be diagnosed in women in their late teens or early 20s, they may not realize that everyone else is not having the same pain as them. So it becomes normal to them that, every month I have to take a day or 2 or 3 out of my normal activities because I'm suffering with this pain. And then unfortunately, there are some instances where they may report the pain, but then, it's normalized and it's like, it's just a part of, a woman's life that, menses are painful. But it should never be to the point where you can't do your normal activities.
Educate me. First of all, I'm not a woman. Secondly, I don't understand these things. Thirdly, there may be other women who are listening and may not even know.
Exactly.
How come, if it has to do with menses, during sex, when it triggers, I hear it's crazy.
Yes, indeed.
What's the connection?
Right. So what's happening is, as I mentioned earlier, that endometrium, the tissue that is supposed to be within the womb, has wound up outside of the womb for various reasons. There's various ways in which that happens. So when that occurs, that same tissue, when you bleed and have your menses every month, the tissue inside your pelvis, the one that's outside of the womb now, the endometriosis, is also bleeding. Bleeding outside of the pelvis where it's not supposed to be sends a signal to the body that, hey, this is not supposed to be happening. So as a result, you get inflammation and you get scarring of the tissue. More inflammation means more pain. So during intercourse, obviously the tissues in that same area get contacted, and because of the inflammation, that's what makes the entire pelvis more painful during sex. I mean, we all know that in general sex should not be painful, but when you have that occur to the point where you would prefer not to do it, that is also a clue that endometriosis could be at play.
Now, interestingly, we've talked about the pain, we've talked about triggering during sex or during your menses and all of that. What is the end result? Where does this lead to?
So typically it leads to a lot of distress for the women experiencing it. Sometimes they may have difficulty keeping a job. Sometimes they may have difficulty with their studies. Sometimes it also causes relationship issues as well, because obviously if you can't engage in relations with your partner, then that will impact the relationship, because we know that is a normal part of a relationship. The other thing is that infertility is one of the biggest problems in a relationship that can happen as a result of endometriosis. And when you find that you have been trying to conceive, it hasn't happened for more than 1 year, which is the definition of infertility, when you're trying to conceive and you're unable to after 1 year, that is when you should really seek the care of a gynecologist to see if endometriosis could be a factor. Because as I said earlier, endometriosis can be a funny condition in that not all women will have the level of pain I'm describing, but the only symptom they may have is infertility. And so if they're not conceiving, then definitely they should think, could endometriosis be at play, and then seek the care of their gynecologist. The other thing is that with the scarring that can result from endometriosis, sometimes the fallopian tubes can get blocked. The fallopian tubes carry the egg from your ovary into your womb so that you can conceive. So if you have scarring that is blocking the fallopian tubes resulting from endometriosis, that needs to be addressed, and many times it has to be addressed with surgery.
Just in case you just tuned in, this morning we have Dr. Udeltego Adovo. She's a gynecologist and minimally invasive surgeon from the Luca Health Medical Specialty Center. Now, Dr. Udel, let me just go play a patient testimony. Let's find out what she went through.
Okay.
We'll be back.
Midday Kezia Agrifen, Midi 26. Midi 24, you're diagnosing me with endometriosis and a pituitary microadenoma. Teaching now, I was a uterus nimun, median and not a pee, into a mommy painful menstruation. Mens is no near a yapan, a ya, they be a young mess, so say a rushing the hospital. And Sana, to me, mommy, medication, not a cough. And sometimes requirements is no ember. Sometimes they're very heavy. Until for 1 year, no, na me call hospitals. Omo mommy medication, omo mommy draw, omo mommy yes scan. Where she say, but who's say? Until now, it's very frustrating because obian to me, mommy, I decry hammy. Until me cousin be honestly a doctor. I don't know catching me about Luca Health Medical Specialty Center. And I say main coho, na min kohu Dr. Tego. Me ya appointment I mean kasa person who Dr. Tego because we sure say ono no bitimi a solve me problem na mama. Nti me ba ha no na me share Dr. Tego na o mama ntwetwemu about ne ha me no. O mama hu ne ekoso. And I was saying me ye. Na was say me ye so that to me solve a problem. Yes, you bet me solve a problem no. And in fact, not many Japan because that was the first time Obia to me catch me there hammy no. Any they are to me a year for home. And I mommy like in Rufu for because I catch him say and no me fano. Baby I didn't do no me. He was say omuyi. Na 6V for me or me ovary mu. Any 2 ovaries nti was say omuyi. Enti yeah consultations be and yes 30 dates for operation. Minya COVID nti na day na was say baso nti was say movie kakra. Na day na e was say me surgery me ba hospital no. In fact, na me sure kakra but me ba no omo prepare me and Dr. Tego ni team no omo mami hu nia ombeye enya senior bibia beti be senior bibia was say course no senior ebeko after surgery na minya ni ye no o mami hu senior procedure no koye ena bibia ko smooth enyama when hu was scans no ma okọ hu wo me body mu about your surgery no o to me yi ni na free ho o to me yi tissues bad tissues ni na free ho inti na bibia ye fine maybe a surgery no o say I must say I was say me to me jun so and I was say me to me nanti kakra and omu pese omu se na pain netie and na se na omu pese omu se na me react after surgery bibia ye fine na me to me akofie the same day but enye sad I was say me tina ho so that omu to me monitor me but bibia ko ye mami pa me to me jun so me to me nanti in fact at that point no na me ni any pain mu but me ni pass like my fatu surgery but pain na me expecting no very different from that na me okay when your mommy come here the same day omo mommy days for review because you know the next day omo friend me bisa na say check it senior bibia call after surgery omo mommy ndo answer na me coffee and to be honest na very slight pain na me feeling in less than a week no na me jai in drone for because Na ase hwe ha me ni pain bia mu. It's just that was say me to me book akra because my body have stress kakra bi mu. But na me ni pain, me ni how bia, me ni any problem. And stitches no so Dr. Tego no or your stitches no come up inti me nya any problem at all, to be honest. In fact, first time I'm by after surgery, no, na bibi I fine inti less than 20 minutes me na masa coffee because everything was okay. Subsequent reviews no na bibi I fine. I was very okay. My recovery no yeah very fast and I very smooth and so na nurses no any doctors no na omo paid after surgery no omo share me so from time me call her until me coffee no omo tina me chain omo bisa me de koso wo me mu and na bibia you fine. My recovery no yeah very very smooth and very 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 fast. My experience with local health has been very good. Minya nice treatments from the receptionists, nurses, and the doctors. Obia Abishia or local health. I'm very nice. I feel very good about Bibia. Me yari no. Me ba hospital ka means show. Me condition no harm me pa, but me pa no. Everything has been very very smooth. Treatment aminya in terms of yari no. And I say no obia ne ukasa no. Ubisa Dr. Tego assembly out to me treat mu kama mau. Bibia ye very very smooth. Inti obia offer to yare ama fa koto no any obia o yare bia me recommend local health because omo mama experience aminya o bibia e wo Ghana ha.
Well, interesting testimony from a patient. Now, Dr. Tego, she says she had to go through several hospitals, doctors, all kinds of people, and eventually you were the only person who was able to determine what exactly her ailment was. How did you arrive at that?
So many times the symptoms of endometriosis can overlap with other conditions. So for example, fibroids. We all know fibroids are a very common condition amongst women, and fibroids can also cause severe pain during intercourse, heavy menses, etc. And so to diagnose endometriosis, not only do you have to take a thorough history from the patient, but you also have to have a high sensitivity to it. I've been fortunate enough in my practice that I have seen a lot of endometriosis over the years, and I've also taken up additional training to be able to recognize and treat endometriosis beyond just my routine training as an obs and gynae physician. And so I am actually more sensitive to considering the diagnosis when women come with the symptoms that I described. And so in Kezia's case, immediately she started explaining what she had been through, and I immediately thought that that's most likely what's happening. There are also situations where people may have scans all right, and I think she mentioned this, and the scans won't always show endometriosis. Endometriosis is a condition where you won't always see it on a scan, which is why you have to be very sensitive to the symptoms, the problems that the patient is describing, and then you also have to be very pointed in your physical examination in terms of what you're looking for to possibly diagnose it. There are cases where if you have endometriosis on an ovary, for example, and it forms a cyst, meaning a collection of endometriosis, which basically looks like blood attached to the ovary or growing inside the ovary, then you can see it on the scan, but you won't always see it. And so I think as more women are aware of endometriosis and go to their doctors to describe it, more doctors will be sensitive to it, and there won't be such a delay in terms of diagnosing it. What Kezia is describing is not uncommon, unfortunately. This is not just exclusive to here in Ghana, but also in the US and in other places. Unfortunately, many women will go some years, maybe 2 or 3 or even 10 years before they're actually diagnosed with endometriosis.
You mentioned that it's not uncommon.
It's not uncommon.
Yes, but
all.
it takes something to find it out.
Correct.
It's not uncommon, so she's been going around and yet could not find anybody to diagnose it properly and do this for her. Yeah. But somebody says endometriosis is very, very painful, Kwame. I finally had a surgical procedure to deal with it. God bless the doctors dealing with it. Another person says to ask you, can endometriosis affect the intensity of your flow from what is normal?
Yes, it can. So it can cause very heavy menses at times. It can also cause irregular menses. So what that means is that your menses may come at its usual time, all right. But then in between, you'll notice that here now you have some bleeding at times when you wouldn't expect it to. Or maybe even sometimes after intercourse, you notice, okay, now I'm bleeding after I've had intercourse, and also it was painful. So yes, the endometriosis can affect the intensity of the flow, and it all is related to the inflammation that is caused by the endometriosis.
Another question says, I have severe menstrual pain, and my period can stop for years. And then it comes for a month or two, and then it's off again. Could it be endometriosis?
There can be endometriosis when you hear the severe pain that she is describing. But the interval when it will stop for many years and then come back, firstly, it'll be interesting to know how old she is, because sometimes as you approach the menopause years, late 40s, early 50s, your menses can do some interesting things, disappear for a few months and then come back. But if she is younger, 20s, 30s, 40s, and this is happening, then there can be some hormonal imbalance, which is unrelated to endometriosis, that could be causing that. However, endometriosis can be associated with some hormonal imbalances because of the irregularity of the flow. At what point does one need to start checking these things? For us men, normally they'd say that after 40, you need to go start checking your prostate. So for women, at what age? I'm asking because you mentioned menopausal, yes. But this lady's testimony, she says she's 26 and started around 24. So at what point should women check for these things? So in general, for all women, a routine gynecologic checkup, this is now prevention that I'm talking about, a routine gynecologic checkup at least once a year, starting from age 21, is very important. Even if you're not having any problems, everything is completely normal, you don't have pain, your menses are like clockwork, you should still come and make sure everything is okay. Now, for younger women, like I said, women can be diagnosed with endometriosis or demonstrate symptoms of it in their teens, from the time that they start menstruating. So if you as a mom, or if I have any teens listening, you are noticing that your pain is just severe, you can't concentrate, you can't do anything when your menses is on, you should prompt your family member, something is happening with me. I want to go talk to a gynecologist. Any teenager can come to a gynecologist and come to find out if they feel that something is happening that's out of the ordinary or that they don't understand. But in the absence of any symptoms, sometimes you can catch signs of these things earlier on when they're easier to treat and manage if you come for a once yearly routine checkup, even if you feel that everything is okay.
Well, interestingly, she mentioned that it was painless or very little pain had to do with it. I'll ask you about that, but before that, there's a testimony from Patrick in Oyarifa who says, I heard about Luca Health 3 months ago on your show. I gave them a visit. I've been suffering hemorrhoids since 1998. I visited many health centers and traditional centers for the last 10 years, couldn't get a cure. Dr. Alex at Luca Health performed a procedure for me last month, and I must admit, their services were beyond my imagination. I'm okay now. I can easily pass through without any stress, and the procedure was almost painless. God bless you and Luca Health. So what is it about painless?
So when it comes to surgery, I presume you're talking about
exactly.
The pain. Yes. So with the way we do our procedures, for Kezia's example, the one who gave the testimony about the endometriosis, she had a minimally invasive surgery, also known as laparoscopic surgery or keyhole surgery. That is basically where instead of making a big incision like you would for a C-section, for example, we make very small cuts ranging in size from 5 millimeters to up to 15 millimeters, depending on the condition we're treating, to do the procedure. Usually there's 3 or 4 of those small cuts. So smaller cuts means less pain and less other risks as well, like risk of infection, risk of bleeding, etc. And at the end of the day, you wind up having a faster recovery. But it's not just about minimally invasive surgery. So in Mr. Patrick's example, he didn't necessarily have a minimally invasive surgery in terms of having a laparoscopic surgery. That's not how you treat hemorrhoids surgically. But the way that we approach surgical care at Luca Health is that we utilize a protocol called enhanced recovery after surgery. So basically, we're trying to improve patients' recovery after surgery. And what that entails is having a team. Kezia did mention she had a team taking care of her. So that is, she is included in the team. So the patient's included, the physician, the anesthetist, and all of the nurses. We all are on the same page in terms of how we approach the pre-operative and post-operative care. So we give certain pain medications. We give other medications to control nausea and vomiting. We have a protocol for how we treat the patients immediately after they awake from the anesthesia, and how we get them out of the bed, how we mobilize them, even what we give them in terms of what they drink and eat afterwards. We do all of that with the goal of making sure we control some of the common issues that patients will have after the surgery, like severe pain. We will give pain medication before we even start the surgery, during the surgery, and after the surgery. And it's not just one, it's different medications that we know will work together to reduce the pain as low as possible afterwards.
I'm looking for Luca Health. Where do I go? What number do I call? How do I arrange an appointment? I want to see Dr. Udell, Dr. Alex, Dr. George Haramis, Dr. Gordon. How do I do it?
So we are located at 27 Maseru Avenue in East Legon, Accra. And we are on the same campus with MDS Lancet Laboratories and Quest Medical Imaging. We are on the second floor of the Quest Medical Imaging building. We're also online at www.lucahealth.com. We also are on Instagram, and our number is 054-412-0777.
Hold on, 054-412.
0777. Yes.
So 0544 120-777.
Yes.
So if you're looking for Luca Health, you're looking for Dr. Udell or any other doctor, if you want an appointment, call 0544 120-777. Anything else you'd like to add?
I would just like to say that sometimes many women feel that what they're experiencing is normal. And in fact, we try to normalize things and minimize things. You know, we like to be strong.
Yeah.
But there are times when we do need to investigate certain things that really seem like they're affecting our quality of life. So I would encourage women, and men for that matter, if you have something happening, don't hesitate to seek out the care of a physician. And, you know, you can also, I never have a problem. People ask me if they can have second opinions and all of this. I think it's always good, because the more information you have, the better expert you can be at your own body to know when there is a problem and when there is not.
Well, you don't mind a second opinion?
Not at all.
Sometimes some doctors don't like that.
I've heard. But I think it's all about education, right? You know, I'm pretty confident in what I do, but I'm also confident in knowing that when a patient is informed, then we can partner together to choose the best care that is going to help them achieve their goals and the quality of life.
So if I walked into your clinic and I wasn't convinced,
Yes.
I can tell you to the face that I'm going to get a second opinion?
Absolutely. You can request your records. You can request any information that I may have gleaned so that you can go and seek a second opinion. So you can feel comfortable at the end of the day with the choice that you choose for treatment and the physician that you choose for treatment as well. It's a partnership. It's not a dictatorship by any means.
I like that. It's a partnership, not a dictatorship.
Yes.
I agree. Thank you very much, Dr. Udell, for your time this morning.
Thank you also.
And,
Thank you so much.
I'm sure my listeners are the better off for it. And we wish you guys at Luca Health a beautiful day. Thanks for your time.
I appreciate you. Have a good day too.
Dr. Udell Tego Adovo is a gynecologist and minimally invasive surgeon at Luca Health Medical Specialty Center. This morning, we've been talking about endometriosis. Well, at least I managed. It was a tongue twister. Endometriosis.
Peace FM.
I'm a little doctor this morning. Anyway. Irradiate. Aseda. Later this morning, we're discussing road crashes. On himself in January, basically, Nipe who Ghana Habru 2000. We've lost more than 2,000 people in 10 months. This is madness. And this one says, happy birthday, Reverend John Kwame Atta Donko. It's from the headmaster, Reverend Richard Asafueje, management, the board, staff, and non-teaching staff to you of Enum Secondary. It says a blessed birthday wish to actress, entrepreneur, and TV host of Red Light Show, Vicky Zuga. It's from your children and siblings to you. And then happy birthday to Michelle Obama Bindov, AIS. Enjoy your birthday, Michelle Obama Bindov, BAIS. It's from Pokua Wendy and your mom Isabella Mauli. Mrs. Akusia Buahin of Prudential Bank. Good morning, sis. Much love to you. Emmanuel Kpakpongmai, A.K. Kimposki of Kanishi Presby. Happy birthday to you. It's from 21 and Kakra to you.
Peace FM.
Aseda Nancy Esiedu, it's your birthday to celebrate and enjoy. Happy birthday, Aseda Nancy Esiedu of Kobe Jewelry Shop. It's from Abba, Mary, Elisha, and Janet. And to you, Bernard Hanzi, it's from Amma to you. Happy birthday, Bernard Hanzi. Happy birthday, Mr. Maxwell Osei to Elias Max of Golden Dream Kumasi. To you, Kate Teiko of Kofodia Y&K Company. Happy birthday, Kate Teiko. It's from your friends and family. Mr. Kojo Afase of Suhun. Happy birthday from your son, Boedi, and the entire confirmed crew. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Ebenezer Chum Edu. Mate, enjoy your day. Sergeant Prince Opoku Kumi of the police headquarters. Happy birthday to you, Sergeant Prince Opoku Kumi, from your family and friends. To you, Mr. Kwesi Akwesi Ampofo. Happy birthday, Veronica Ku Ale of CPC Jolu. It's from Louis and Mark. To you, Victoria Padiki Oforiedu of Fawcett Foundation School. It's from Bernard Oforiedu. Nanaya Asantoa of K. Jima Company Limited at Shaiman. It's from your parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jima, your sisters, and all your friends. Wishing Theresa Kokui Ashi of Royal Chapel. It's from Mr. and Mrs. Cranting. Happy birthday, Otis Ananu of Greenfield Montessori. It's from Christo Ananu to you. Ampa.